Ghana and Singapore may be separated by oceans and thousands of miles, but today they are drawing closer than ever before through trade, investment, and shared ambitions. In 2024, trade between the two countries crossed $215 million, marking a strong signal of growing ties and mutual trust. But for Ghana's president, John Dramani Mahama, this is only the beginning. Speaking at the 8th Africa Singapore Business Forum in Singapore, he painted a vision that goes far beyond millions. His eyes are set on billion-dollar growth, and his message was clear and compelling. Africa is investable, Ghana is the gateway, and Singapore is a partner that can help unlock an economic future of scale and transformation. Before we dive deeper into today's update, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support is key to helping us grow and reach more viewers like you. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on exciting updates. The gathering of government leaders, business executives, and policymakers was told that Ghana-Singapore trade, already at $215 million in 2024, is just a fraction of what can be achieved. Africa-Singapore trade as a whole has risen by about 50% between 2020 and 2024 to nearly $14 billion, with West Africa alone accounting for more than half of that figure. The numbers are important, but what they represent is even more powerful, a momentum of partnerships and opportunities waiting to be scaled. President Mahama framed Africa not as a continent in need of charity, but as the world's most dynamic emerging market. A young, fast urbanizing, digitally connected population of 1.4 billion people is already reshaping consumption, industry, and innovation. By 2030, African cities will host more than 700 million consumers, forming one of the largest and most active middle classes in the world. He reminded the audience that Africa is not only about resources, but also about innovation. The African Continental Free Trade Area, headquartered in Accra, Ghana, is the largest new free trade area in the world by the number of countries, representing a $3.4 trillion market. Barriers across supply chains are being lowered, opportunities are being created, and African nations are aligning themselves to play a far more competitive role in global trade. But there is a challenge, one that Mahama did not shy away from. Africa faces an annual financing gap estimated at $1.3 trillion. Infrastructure needs alone are projected to run between $181 and $221 billion per year through 2030, while the climate finance gap stands at about $213 billion annually. For the continent to unlock its true potential, the availability of capital at the right price and with the right instruments is crucial. As African Union champion on financial institutions, Mahama outlined efforts underway to build a financial system that works for Africa. The acceleration of the African Monetary Institute as a precursor to the African Central Bank and the linking of 10 major stock exchanges through the African Exchanges Linkage Project to enhance liquidity are steps that point toward a future where Africa's markets can operate more efficiently and attract the kind of large-scale investment needed. Ghana, in his words, is not just participating in this transformation, but leading it. At the heart of his presentation was Ghana's positioning as a stable and attractive investment hub. Hosting the AFCFTA Secretariat, Ghana sits at the heart of a $3.4 trillion single market. Through ECOWAS, the country connects investors to more than 400 million consumers in West Africa. Its advantages are not only geographic, but also institutional. A double taxation agreement with Singapore has been enforced since 2019, and already 69 Singaporean companies have registered investments in Ghana, with cumulative investments exceeding $2 billion. Ghana, Mahama stressed, is a trusted entry point for scaling across Africa. He acknowledged the economic turbulence of recent years, but emphasized reforms that are stabilizing Ghana's business climate. Inflation is easing, the cedi has stabilized, and ratings outlooks are improving. Business regulations are being simplified under the Business Regulatory Reforms Program, while the Ghana Investment Promotion Act is under review to make it easier for foreign investors, including the removal of minimum capital thresholds. These measures are designed to send a message to global investors. Ghana is serious about reform, serious about openness, and serious about creating a business environment where investors can thrive. But perhaps the most striking element of Mahama's address was his bold vision for a 24-hour economy. The phrase itself is catchy, but the substance behind it is even more compelling. Ghana's economic strategy, he explained, is anchored in productivity, exports, and jobs. Factories, farms, ports, and service centers will be aligned to operate round the clock, safely and competitively. This model is not about working people harder, but about building the infrastructure, incentives, and skills to sustain operations at all hours, maximizing productivity and positioning Ghana as a reliable hub for global supply chains. At the core of this vision is the Volta Economic Corridor, Ghana's most ambitious integrated development to date. Mahama laid out its key pillars with clarity. Grow 24 will irrigate more than 2 million hectares for year-round farming. Make 24 will establish agro-industrial parks for textiles, pharmaceuticals, and food processing. Show 24 will transform tourism and hospitality along Lake Volta, one of the world's great inland lakes. Connect 24 will turn Lake Volta into a cost-efficient inland transport spine, reducing logistics costs and linking farms, factories, and markets. This corridor is not only about physical infrastructure, but about building an ecosystem that integrates agriculture, industry, transport, and services into a continuous cycle of productivity and growth. Complementing this are catalytic projects across health, energy, and industry. The Legon Pharmaceutical Innovation Park, the Kumasi Machinery and Technology Park, the Akasambo Guapong Garments and Textiles Park, digital TVET centers of excellence, and renewable energy corridors all form part of what Mahama called the Big Push Infrastructure Program. These initiatives are designed to crowd in private capital, accelerate connectivity, and unlock the scale needed for sustainable economic transformation. In speaking directly to Singaporean investors, Mahama extended an invitation that was as confident as it was practical. He told them to put Ghana's readiness to the test during his state visit. A presidential business roundtable will be held where bankable projects will be showcased, regulators will be accessible, and strategic incentives will be outlined. A one-stop investor concierge will be provided so that decisions can be made quickly and confidently. This was not just rhetoric, but a call to action, backed with mechanisms designed to ease investor concerns and streamline entry into Ghana's market. The vision he presented was of a Ghana that is reform-minded, stable, and positioned to scale. A 24-hour economy that matches global investors' need for speed, reliability, and standards. A pipeline of investable projects in agribusiness, logistics, manufacturing, energy, digital, and tourism. And a partner that values integrity, predictability, and long-term relationships. His closing words were less about Ghana alone and more about Africa's place in the global economy. That the continent is young, resource-rich, digitally dynamic, and ready to do business with partners who share its ambitions. This moment in Singapore marked more than a trade figure crossing $215 million. It marked the beginning of a new chapter where Ghana positions itself as the front door to Africa's trillion-dollar opportunities. For Singapore, with its history of efficiency, global networks, and trade acumen, Ghana represents not just a market, but a launchpad into an entire continent. For Ghana, Singapore is not only a trading partner, but a model of how a small country can leverage openness, connectivity, and vision to achieve global relevance. Together, the partnership carries the potential to create something far bigger than either could achieve alone. In the end, what Mahama offered was not just statistics, but a story. A story of possibility, of ambition, and of a partnership between Ghana and Singapore that could reshape trade and investment flows across Africa and Asia. The future he described is one where cargo ships move across Lake Volta as easily as they do across Singapore's ports, where Ghana's agro-industrial parks export processed goods to global markets, where tourists flock to the shores of Lake Volta, where factories hum day and night, and where African financial institutions link seamlessly with global capital markets. The story is still being written, but the direction is clear. From $215 million to $1 billion and beyond, Ghana and Singapore are charting a path that reflects not only the rise of Africa, but also the rise of new partnerships that will define the global economy of the future.
If today is your first time watching this channel or you are returning to this channel for the exciting content, please subscribe to the channel for more educative and developmental projects across Ghana and Africa as a whole. Do you want to know about the state of a project in Africa? Then make sure to like and comment the name of the project you would like us to talk about and its current state.